What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the NFC North Roundtable. I am Tony Dow here with Roundtable Sports. Listen, first and foremost, a special shout out to everybody that views this channel. If you are new right now watching the NFC North Roundtable, you've been missing out, but don't worry. Just hit the subscribe button, punch the like button on your way in, and you could be a part of the family as well as this show continues to grow. Special shout out to the host of the show. We have Basaraki, One Bar, Dose of Dion, Nick as well, representing their respective teams. Ladies and gentlemen, they have eclipsed over 5,200 subscribers in less than a year. So special shout out to them. Show them some love and support throughout the show. But thank you all for tuning in, because this week there has been a change at the top of the mountain. So much to talk about. This division continues to be the best division in football. Would we have ever thought that coming into the season? Maybe some of you would have, but let's go ahead and hear from our host real quick, and then we'll get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. In last place, but it is not a disappointing last place, to be quite honest with you, we have the Chicago Bears and Nick representing. What's up, Nick? How you feeling, man?
TD, I'm feeling good. Fresh off a bye week. The guys are getting healthy. I can't complain anymore. I'm excited to be playing some football this Sunday, though, especially in prime time.
Man, Nick, well, yeah, primetime football. Are you going to be able to keep up with the division, man? Maybe I'm disrespecting you by saying that, but I'm just curious.
Hey, 1 week at a time, TD. That's all I'm going to say. 1 week at a time. But yes, of course, we're going to keep up with the division, because we're going to smack the Commanders this weekend, go to 5-2, and things are going to be trending in the right direction.
All right. Is that at home or away?
It's in Washington. It's away.
It's going to be a tough
one.
No
Jaden Daniels. No Jaden Daniels.
Chicago. All right. Number 3 in the division, ladies and gentlemen, been playing some of the best football in the NFL as of late. Their quarterback is back. He's been balling out. Shout out to Basaraki and the Green Bay Packers. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Still in the same spot in third. I know there was a big argument last week, but we're still here in third. I wanted the Lions to win just so we're kind of still a game back from them, a game and a half back from the Vikings. So everything kind of went the Packers' way this week. I mean, on top of all, beating the Houston Texans, the 5-1 Houston Texans, kind of embarrassing them on offense was huge. So move on to Jacksonville this week. I'm hyped for it. Keep it on.
That was a big win, Bass. I can't wait for us to break that game down. A lot to talk about there. It just shows Green Bay is for real, but they're still in third place. Is there hope that you can move up these charts, man?
Yeah, I mean, what week 8 right now? I mean, every team here is like a game and a half or 2 games or a game back from the team ahead of them. So there's so much football left to be played, and I'm sure this whole rotation and the way you introduce people is going to keep on changing.
All right, well, hey, we shall see. Time always tells, ladies and gentlemen, but here we are, number 2 in the division, ladies and gentlemen. All right,
Crazy work, man.
One ball.
I like it. You're toying with his emotions a little bit. Hey, it was nice and comfy over that number 1 spot. It was good to feel what that feels like, so we can get back there real soon. And look, man, if you think I'm gonna come on here crying in my beer because we lost by 2 points to the Lions, like, we're gonna break it down. That game was crazy. It was a very, very good game. That Lions team is legit. There's no doubt about it. But I left that game. The Lions and Vikings are the best teams in the NFC. I know Baz is going to make a run for the Packers, but in my mind, those are the 2 best teams. And even after that game, those are the 2 best teams in the NFC. And Lions fans can't even say walking away from that game is like, oh boy, I can't wait to play the Vikings again. That was a tough ass game. I don't like being in this number 2 spot though. I don't like it at all.
Man, I just thought about what you said. 2 best teams in the NFC. That might be
accurate.
Very accurate, man. We'll get into that too, but ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. At the top of the mountain, it was borrowed for a while, but they are back. He said it would happen, and here we are today, the Detroit Lions, king of the mountain. Dion, what's up, man?
Hey, TD. I mean, let's just keep it real. The Vikings are trash, dog. We don't need to They're trash. I can't wait to play him again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish it was next week. No, I'm playing. Hey, man, shout out to One Bar, bro. We had a fire show before. At one point, the score was my prediction. I was like, oh, no, wait. But there was like 4 minutes left in the third quarter. So you knew this game went way over the top. Did not expect it to go down like that. It was the most fun game of the season so far. Like, it probably wouldn't have felt that way if we would have lost, but it was the most enjoyable game so far of the season for me. And now, TD, that I get to be next to you for the rest of the season, man, I got gum. If you ever need any, I'll let you know. But, hey, man, it's good to be back.
All right, I got to get out of there.
You can hand it down. You can just
man. Oh, I know, right? But listen, ladies and gentlemen, these are your NFC North Roundtable hosts representing the best division in football right now. Will it remain the best division in football? Only time will tell us that, but we got so much to get into. But the first thing we're going to get into is the fact that BetUS is powering this stream, and they are offering you a first-time deposit bonus of 150% all the way up to $2,000 if you use code YouTube150. All right. This is your opportunity to take advantage of that bonus. And if you do this, your second and third deposit could be at 125%, ladies and gentlemen. BetUS, if you're looking for a new sports book, they got you covered. But it's not just the sports book. It's also live betting during games, the casino, race book, and so much more, including BetUS TV. And listen, the odds for week 8 are already up, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to get on those and take advantage of it, go over to BetUS. Look at your favorite team odds and go ahead and place your bet on what you think is going to happen. As you see, Minnesota Vikings are playing the Rams, and the Vikings are the favorites. The Detroit Lions, Tennessee Titans, biggest spread of the week. It's embarrassing almost. Green Bay, Jacksonville. Green Bay is the favorites. And then the Chicago Bears and Commanders. Can you believe Chicago is favored over the Commanders? But like Nick said, there is no Jaden Daniels. So this division, can they go 4-0? Time will tell, but go ahead. That might be a nice parlay to put in. Have y'all thought about that? A parlay of the division winning, and it might hit 4-wise. Go on to BetUS if you want to get into that and take advantage of it. Quick question I want to ask all 4 of you. Could this division go undefeated this week? I want to start with Dion.
No. I want to say, well, no, hold up. Yes, no, it can. It can. See, here's the thing, TD. You kind of set me up there because I don't like to place bets that I can't somewhat root for. You know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to bet with your heart, but I do. So if I can't, like, root for any of it, then I wouldn't place that bet. That being said, though, no, I definitely think we could win it this week, especially with the Washington Commanders injury. That's a big one.
What about you, One Bar?
Yeah, we're playing trash. We're going to take out the trash this week. There's no way to sugarcoat it. If Daniels is playing, again, like, I was really looking forward to that matchup, but yeah, I think everybody's going to win.
Man, and listen, what about you, Nick, real quick? And then I'll get
I take it as disrespect. I think the Bears would have beat the Commanders with or without Daniels. I'm just putting that out there. I mean, like, our defense
would have been fun to watch.
Yeah, it would have been way more fun to watch. They got Marcus Mariota, though. But, like, the Bears defense is not giving up more than 21 points in 12 straight games. And the Commanders defense is ranked 23rd overall. I'm not worried about them with or without Jaden Daniels. Just putting that out there.
Nick out here testing his luck. But all right, that's what's up. What about you, Baz?
Commanders are number 1 offense, and we're so sure Jaden's not playing. I mean, he wasn't practicing today, but it's a rib injury. Throw in the flak jacket, get out there. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not a confirmation.
That's
that he's not playing.
Wait.
Because if he does play, the Bears are the only team in the North that are going to lose this week. Yes. If he
I
does
love
play.
how much Baz hates the Bears. I love it.
Oh, okay. I'm born for it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I hope.
Keep it going.
I hope that the Jaguars kick the Packers' ass this week, just so Baz can just be dead ass silent.
That is the upset alert game of the week, though. That Jags Packers game. It's a little trappish there, but we shall see if the Jags are turning it around or not.
Yeah, I love Baz. I love the energy though. I just gotta put that out there.
But let's go ahead and dive right into business. We always like to start the show off with our injury report throughout the division. Dion, is there any injuries to report with the Detroit Lions, whether anyone's coming back or someone just went off? Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, we Well, we heard today Emmanuel Mosley. It could be returning at. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot he was on the team. I saw the headline. I was like, "Who's that?" Oh, hey, I forgot. It was weird. I feel like I had a dream last night about signing the guy. I don't know. I got a lot of crazy dreams, TD. We won't go down that path. But Emmanuel Mosley could be back at some point. So there's that. And then Kevin Zeitler did return to practice. We didn't have last week against the Vikings. So good. It sounds like a lot of good news. Right now. I don't think we have anything major that we came out with. So shout out to the Vikings and a good field.
All right. And Vikings, what about you, One Bar? What's going on in Minnesota? Anybody coming back or has left you guys from last week's game?
I want to hear more about Dion's dreams and what's going on in that brain of his at night. I would love to hear about that. Vikings. So Hawkinson's the big one. They're still not sure if he's going to play or not. I still put it at 50-50. Like, you look at the big break they're going to have after the Thursday night game we play tomorrow. So we'll see. Cashman out again. And we got to see last week how big of a out that really is. It was painful. He needs to get his butt back on the field. Dalton Reisner, he's questionable as well. Aaron Jones had no designation, which is great to see coming off of that game last week where he was a little dinged up. So Hawkinson, he's the name to watch.
Interesting. What about you, Bass? Anything going over in Green Bay?
Yeah, there was 4. Did not participate today. Corey Ballantyne, depth corner, played 1 snap last week. But the big ones, Elton Jenkins, Josh Myers, both have, I guess you could consider them new injuries, glute injury, wrist injury, respectively. I don't have any worry there. Quay Walker has a concussion. He suffered it against the Texans. It looked pretty bad, but he got up and walked off the field and all that. So obviously every concussion is different. We'll see how that goes throughout the week. Colby Wooden was a full participant, and then Devontae Wyatt returned to practice. And do you want me to talk about Robert Salah now, or are we waiting on that?
No, we'll wait because I got some questions about that.
Yeah.
And what about you, Nick? Any injury news?
Yeah, so Tyreek Stevenson, who was out against the Jaguars with a calf injury, was limited today. So he's making all the right progressions to be back on the field, which would be big because, if Jaden Daniels does play, you got to have your starting secondary back there. Larry Borum and Travis Homer, who are 2 depth guys for us, are off IR, so they're open up in the window. Jacob Martin, who's an edge guy, also back on the field. So Bears are getting a lot of depth pieces back. We haven't had to have any practice squad guys come up this week. So happy to see that the full roster is starting to come together.
Nice. Well, that is your injury report in the NFC North, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's go over to our quarterback watch. We do this every week, and we're going to start it out not by asking how you feel about your quarterback this time, but we had a really good conversation about the best quarterbacks in the division last week. I got to ask again because I feel like, Jordan Love just entered the conversation once again. So let's go with Nick. Give me your order of quarterbacks in the division so far this season.
Oh, man. Again, TD? Come on now. All right. I'll start with number 1, Jared Goff. Number 2, Sam Darnold. Number 3, Caleb Williams. Number 4, Jordan Love.
That's just wild.
Jordan Love's still number 4 for you, right, Nick?
It's fine with me.
All right, the Bass. What about you?
I had Darnold 1. I'm flip-flopping this week. I'm putting Love at 1. The interceptions are still a problem, but if someone's going to argue interceptions, it's the same amount as Patrick Mahomes. Are you talking about Patrick Mahomes the same way? The only difference between there is that Jordan Love is tied for second in touchdown passes, yet he missed 2 games. He has 15 touchdown passes. I mean, the guy's a true, epitome of a gunslinger out there, and he's a joy to watch. So I got Love number 1. You know what, Dion? I'm putting Goff 2.
That's what I'm talking. Okay.
The last 3 weeks, super efficient, and not that Darnold hasn't been good, but it seems like he's starting to slow down a little bit, just a little bit. Darnold 3, Williams 4, just for now.
One more. What you got on this?
I mean, Darnold had a pretty damn good game against the Lions. I believe it's going to be the same as last week. I got Goff 1. Man, that dude. I don't want to. I mean, the dude against the blitz, he doesn't even care. He doesn't care, and he just throws a beautiful pass, and it annoyed the living hell out of me. So after that, Goff is 1. Darnold's 2. If this was about throwing interceptions, Jordan Love would be 1, no doubt about it. I mean, to me, there's a difference between a gunslinger and just bad passes. Like, a gunslinger to me is a guy who whips that thing around where at least it has a chance to make a very good play. But when you're just chucking bad passes, I don't know if I consider that a gunslinger. He's on pace.
Kraft touchdown? You see that Tucker Kraft touchdown?
No, I'm saying I'm talking about his interceptions. I'm not talking about his touchdowns.
Well, you said he has a chance to make a play. He's whipping it around there in between defenders, right?
Well, that one didn't get picked.
Yeah, it was
I'm talking about the ones that got picked. He's on pace. If he were to his interception ratio per game, if he were to play 17 games, he's on pace to have 27 interceptions. Like a gunslinger, great. 27 interceptions, get your ass out of there. So that's why he's 3. And then Caleb Williams. I'm not saying Love puts up some wonderful plays. Like I'm not. He's got all the talent in the world. The interceptions got to get cleaned up. I mean that the rate he's on is crazy.
So do you have the same answer for Mahomes then? You're saying the same thing?
Well, Mahomes is 6-0.
That's quarterback ain't a win-loss ain't a quarterback. So Mahomes has the same interceptions.
I don't know.
as Jordan
Mahomes
Love.
has a lot to do with those wins.
Like, come on. Yeah, he does. But like, if you're
Well,
not
that's what
saying
I'm
the same thing
saying.
about Mahomes, are you calling him just an errant passer?
If I could have Patrick Mahomes or Jordan Love, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes 10 times out of 10.
Okay.
If that answers it, I don't know.
Man, I'm a man.
I'm just saying the interceptions. I mean, gunslinger's an easy phrase to throw out there. Some of those interceptions are just gross.
I agree. I can't disagree with that, but he's also
All right. Well, Dion, bring some balance to it, Dion. Give me your order.
Now, see, the conversation's interesting. It's making me think because my list that I had in my head is not what they were talking about. It made me think, should I change it a little? I'm going to go with what I came in thinking, and I'm going to sound super disrespectful because we just beat the Vikings. But look, man, week by week, we're taking this week by week. Goff is 1, and then there's a gap. That's why Nick was struggling. It's all good. There's a gap. Goff is 1, a little bit of air. Let's go to number 2. I'm going to put Love at 2. I'm going to put Darnold at 3 and Caleb at 4. I don't feel like I can flip those 2 right now. I think I'm there. That you're coming off a bye. If they would have played last week, maybe I could have had something. But I don't think I can go there yet. But to me, I think what Umbar's saying, I agree with. Like I don't disagree. I mean, there was almost an interception on that first play at the end of the game. I mean, and on that last drive, and it's like, oh, the game could have ended just like that. That being said, though, I think if I'm playing the Packers, I'm more concerned with dealing with Jordan Love right now than I am dealing with Sam Darnold. So if I put him with the same supporting cast, I'd be more concerned about Love than Sam Darnold. That's where I'm at. But not by a ton, but that's where I'm at.
Man, that's very interesting. About 3 of you guys switched the whole order up just because of last week. And it is tough because with the Lions getting the win and Jared Goff playing that well, I could see a switch. But then with Jordan Love's resurgence of getting wins and playing some good football, I could see that. But then it's turnovers, Sam Darnold still being consistent, and Caleb Williams just waiting to come off by to influence it. So, man, what a conversation. I think next week we got to have a talk too about this. We shall see. All right. But ladies and gentlemen watching right now, we literally have almost 400 people in attendance. Make sure you punch that like button. By hitting the like button, YouTube algorithm will make sure it sends out the notification to everyone because they typically don't. All right. Thank you all once again for tuning in. All right. And subscribe if you're new. All right. Let's go in. I know that we don't want to just highlight the Lions here because they're at the top of the mountain. Okay. But I got to ask a question to each and every one of you, and then we'll get into the game previews. Are the Lions the favorite to win the division now? And what teams in the NFL do you see that are even better than the Lions? And Dion's already just grinning. He's just happy. But Nick, we have to. What's your thoughts on what I'm asking, Nick?
I mean, they're at the top. The reason why they're at the top is that they're playing some darn good football right now. And I mean, we are the toughest division in football. I think that we're going to find out a lot more as we play more interdivision games as the season goes on. Not just the Bears playing the Lions, but the Packers again playing the Lions and then also the Vikings too. So it's going to be, I mean, that Lions-Vikings game was awesome to watch. And the fact that it came down to where it was, that was just good old football. Like that makes us feel good that the NFC North is where it's at. But out of all the teams, like I'm looking at all the teams right now, TD, just where everyone stands. Like obviously the Chiefs, that'd be a fun matchup. Obviously the Ravens, but I really can't say anyone else that like the Lions would have struggles against. Like the Niners are not going to have struggles against. Obviously
the Vikings.
The Vikings, they did have their struggles against. That's what I was kind of saying though, is that like anyone in this division, it's going to be a tough matchup for them. But outside of this division, I mean, really, I'm looking at the the Chiefs, and I'm looking at the Ravens. That's about it.
All right, Bass, what you got on this one?
Chiefs are obvious answer. I mean, they're 6-0, but outside of that, I agree with Nick. Like, they're gonna have trouble with every team in the division, in my opinion. They still got to play the Packers twice, so I think they'll split that. Honestly, the Commanders, they're the number one scoring offense in the NFL. I think any team's gonna have a problem with that. I think they're playing excellent football. The Texans, I don't know. I mean, we saw the Vikings already beat them. We saw the Packers. Well, Vikings crushed them. The Packers beat them. Ravens, I think, are a good team. The Lions are definitely up there. But I think in terms of winning the NFC North, yes, they have the best odds via Vegas right now. But again, any team still has clear chance to win the North.
Nice. What about you, One Bar? What you got on it?
Yeah, I mean, I can't come on the week we lost the Lions and say something otherwise. So I gotta give the flowers to Dion there. So yeah, I mean, Lions are a damn good team. And I look forward to breaking that thing down. Like, it's funny. I look at the NFC. I wouldn't want to play any other team outside of our division. Like, I would rather play a team outside our division than anybody else. And that's a crazy thing to say. I know Washington's very good. I know what's that?
In the NFL?
In the NFC.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be so fun when we start getting into these matchups. I know you guys got it's going to be crazy. AFC, I mean, yeah, the Chiefs, Ravens, easy ones to say. And I 100% agree, but like the NFC, it's like I look at our division and like I would rather play anybody else than anybody in this division.
All right, real quick, Dion, do you think that the Lions right now as it stands are better than either the Chiefs or the Ravens?
I think the Ravens are tricky. We'd smoke the Chiefs. Stop playing. Like, the Chiefs don't want the smoke. You know what I mean? Chiefs are lucky we don't play them again this year. The Chiefs aren't on our level. I think there's a gap there. That being said, though, the Ravens are tricky. But I agree with what One Bar said, especially if we're just looking at it from an NFC perspective. Toughest teams in our division. I'm not really – the other teams wouldn't have a huge concern for me. It's going to be who we play. The spreads will always be tight. And then the home field advantage feels like it matters a lot more in those games.
Man, oh man, oh man. This division is very exciting. Every week something's going on. But like you all said, you got some easy opponents this week. I think the laughing stock next week is going to be if anybody loses. So we shall see. Make sure you come back next week, ladies and gentlemen, for that. All right. All right. Before we move on into the game previews, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people don't know that Roundtable Sports currently, we now have a website. Okay. A lot of people don't know that the website is up and fully functional. As you can see, the first row represents the NFC North Roundtable. This was the first expansion of Roundtable Sports after the AFC East. NFC North, as you see here, you can go to their own landing home custom page. All right, and you can check it out. Now, remember, the most important thing is for you guys to meet your host. Dose of Dion, One Bar, and Lupago Show, Just Another Year, Chicago, and Basaraki Productions. On the site, all you have to do is click on their socials. Everyone watching right now should be following these guys. You should be following each and every one of them. Even if you don't like them, you should be over there talking trash to the opponent, all right? So make sure you check out the creators. And also, if you want on the site, the merchandise is also available on the site. We're going to go to the NFC North, their merch page, just in case you want to get some of your latest merch for the teams that you love, okay? We're going to go newest to oldest. The election collection is still available, ladies and gentlemen. It is still available. As you can see, Williams, Adunze, Goff, St. Brown, Love, Jacobs, McCarthy, Jefferson. Again, we got to update the McCarthy one, but he's the future. He's the future. Oh, well, that's a good question that we got to talk about in the second One Bar, by the way. All right. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen, and take advantage of Roundtable Sports. All right. Now, listen, that does bring me to the question with you, One Bar, before we go to you, Bass, on Salah. One Bar, is it not a difficult situation for the Vikings to be in? Like, let's go in a perfect world where Sam Darnold finishes the season just as well as he started it. He's a Pro Bowler. He's a MVP candidate. May not win it, but he's a candidate. He leads the Vikings to the playoffs, gets a first-round win, maybe a second-round loss or win. Who knows? But even if it's a second round, you make it to the second round.
Get me excited, TD.
Yeah, it's exciting, but some people will say what I'm about to ask you. It's a good problem to have, but this is the one situation where I actually don't know if it's a good problem to have because the general manager would have to make a franchise-defining decision. What do you do in that situation? Ship Darnold off or trade your rookie? Or, I'm trying to figure that out. What's your take on that, One Bar?
I mean, it's not easy, but to me, it's easy. It's like if Sam Darnold, for some way in hell, this man leads us to a Super Bowl and we get a Super Bowl win, put trophies up in everybody's yard, or put statues up in everybody's yard, give the guy $500 million. We don't care. We just want a Super Bowl. Anything less than a Super Bowl, I don't care what he does. He ain't coming back. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sam Darnold is overachieving. He's looking damn good. I don't want to disparage Sam Darnold, but J.J. McCarthy, like putting him in this offense, I feel that he would do just as good or possibly even better given time. He's 21. I mean, he's still a young buck. I do. Like, he would have to win a Super Bowl for them to come back. The whole point of drafting McCarthy was to get him on that rookie contract and add pieces around him. And we got rid of Kirk Cousins, and we added a bunch of pieces on defense, and our defense is fantastic this year. So it's like, barring a Super Bowl, Sam Darnold, go get your money out in free agency. Go be a Giant next year, whatever you're going to do. But I just don't see it happening.
It's so risky. Dion, what do you think about that?
Well, I wanted to ask, it's this little side question, but I saw the Stafford stuff pop up. And I was just curious if Omar had any thoughts. I don't know if this is legit. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to it, but just the idea that they could consider making a move or trying to make a move off it. Because I think that adds to what you're saying here with Sam Darnold. Because for me personally, I didn't feel like Sam Darnold looked great when I went into preparing for this game. So I understand the McCarthy thing even more. I felt like McCarthy's his numbers look really good, but I didn't feel like he looked as good as the stats suggest. I think they have a really good process and a whole thing that they're doing right now. So is there anything to the Stafford thing? Like, is that even
I don't
on
think
the table?
The Vikings insiders poo-pooed that pretty quick. Like, anything's possible, but I can't see that. And honestly, I mean, Stafford, he's always a great guy to root for. I don't know how much of an upgrade that would actually be. I mean, it may be a little bit, but I don't see it's worth it, especially I believe that would be a hefty paycheck.
Man, oh man. Anything else on that, Dion?
No, I'll say that I think if they got Stafford, they could win the Super Bowl this year. I think without him, they can't. But I wouldn't say I'm doing it because I think what One Bar said is right. It would take a lot to get him, and I don't think.
So that would make them better than the Lions like that?
No, it just give them hope. You know what I mean? I said they could. I said they could win the Super Bowl. You know they're very specific about the English.
You got him.
You know what I mean? You give a little bit of life if there's a way to get life. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's on the table right now.
What about you, Bass?
From a Packers fan perspective, I hope you guys move on from Darnold after he's doing what he's doing. If you're a smart organization, you'd sign him for 3 years and let your rook, who's 20 years old or 21 at this point, sit for 3 years like Jordan Love did. What's the problem with that? Why are we so quick to rush rookies into action if someone else is already there playing well? You're not saying he was playing MVP level like Aaron Rodgers, but he's playing damn good. It's like, why do you have to rush a 20? Is he 20 or 21? He's young regardless.
21.
He's 21. Okay. Right? Quarterbacks usually don't hit their prime until they're 25 anyways. You just sit them and let them chill out. And hey, I don't want you guys to do that. That's just what I see as a Packers fan. It works for us. That's what I would do.
I do like that. All I'll say quick is I'm very curious if he keeps this up, like how much he's going to get paid. Like Sam Darnold,
the duration is the problem, right? If he wants a 5-year deal, then you run into some problems. But if it could be a 3-year deal at a top quarterback money, why not? I just don't see why not. It's not like J.J. McCarthy's going to be 32 by the end of that contract. Hey, even a 4-year contract, it's not the end of the world.
All right, Nick, close this one out for us.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Baz. Like, look at what Rodgers sat behind Favre. Love sat behind Rodgers. That's what you do. Honestly, minus Caleb Williams, I wish that the Bears would have done that with Field. I wish they would have done that with Trubisky. Like, the Bears just didn't know what they were doing. You should always sit a rookie quarterback if you have the opportunity like the Vikings have right now. And they have a really good opportunity. You're not paying McCarthy big money, like One Bar was saying, for a couple of years. Let him sit. don't pay him a lot of money, but he's getting priceless experiences and information from Darnold himself and how to work this offense. And like, especially from Justin Jefferson, he's going to learn. So when he goes into a game, he's going to be ready to go. Like, he hasn't had any sort of NFL action really so far in his career. So let him sit. I would honestly give Darnold a 3-year contract, give him top quarterback money, like Baz was saying, and then see how it goes. Why if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So no, I would not get rid of Darnold. I would not let him walk easy, at least.
Oh man, decisions. But you got to get to that point first. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Last piece of news I wanted to go over, Baz, what's going on with Robert Salah sneaking into the Green Bay Packers facility? Is he looking for a job? Are y'all asking him to come in? What's going on?
So I was actually shocked to see this. Like, I really thought he'd take the rest of 2024 off and then land a DC job somewhere else, like 100%. But at the end of the day, him and Matt LaFleur are great friends. Matt LaFleur was his best man at his wedding, and we saw him at practice today, and he was holding a piece of paper or clipboard, and that's when I thought in my mind, I was like, okay, he's definitely helping the Packers with something, because it looked like the practice sheet. And it was confirmed after practice that Matt LaFleur is going to be bringing him in to be an offensive consultant. Now, it's not like an official hire or anything. It's kind of like an at-will consultant. He's going to stay here this week until Thursday. Then he's going to go back home, and he might be back at other points during the year. Now, you might be asking, well, why would you get a defensive guy to be an offensive consultant? Well, what that does is it allows them to have a defensive set of eyes on our offense and go to Matt LaFleur and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about what you're showing me. And then Matt LaFleur can then fix that to beat said defense, right? Jeff Hafley doesn't have the time during the week to do that sort of thing. He's preparing his defense for the upcoming offense. So I think there's absolutely zero negative here. It's not like we're bringing on Salah on our defense and he's going to undermine Hafley or Hafley's going to feel disrespected. He's simply going to help Matt LaFleur with game planning, and there's no negative. It's going to help the offense, and every time he comes in, I think it's going to help Matt LaFleur a lot. So I'm all for it. I think it's a great move for the Green Bay Packers.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot going on in the division, and I just feel it keeps getting better and better. Let's get into these game previews. We had a lot of good ones this weekend. We all know the Bears were on a bye, so not much to talk about there. But make sure you stay tuned for the prediction show airing on Friday right here on the NFC North Roundtable. So make sure you're here to check that out. Turn your notifications on. Let's start out with the Packers versus the Houston Texans. The Green Bay Packers winning 24-22. Great game, might I add. Let's start with Nick. What were your thoughts in that one?
Just an awesome game. Like, that was my favorite game of the whole weekend. Just super intense. It showed, I kind of said it before earlier in the show, but it showed how tough this division is. I mean, it was neck and neck the entire game, going back and forth. The Lions offense walked into Minnesota, a super tough place to play, and they held their own. I mean, at first I was watching the game, I was like, oh, how is this actually going to go? And then as time went on, both teams continued to progress. They're figuring each other out. They made adjustments, like solid coaching. I just want to put that out there too. It wasn't just the players, but great coaching matchup this past weekend too. And that's why it was a thriller all the way to the end. Maybe a preview of what we're going to see in a playoff matchup. I know that they are going to obviously play each other later this year too, but overall, super fun game to watch. I hats off to both teams. You got to give credit to both of them. They just did a great job. I liked what the Vikings were doing overall to keep the ball moving around. I mean, Detroit's got a super tough defense, and I liked how Detroit came out obviously after losing Aiden Hutchinson, and they just kept their foot on the gas pedal. So it shows how much depth that team has too, going against an undefeated Vikings team. But it was a ton of fun to watch as an NFC North division rivalry, and it turned out to be a great game.
Nice. One bar. What were your thoughts on that matchup?
Are we talking Lions or are we talking Packers?
Oh, no, we're talking Packers.
Oh,
right, Packers.
Sorry. My bad.
It's all right.
No, you're good. I
thought we were talking about that game first.
I knew he wasn't talking Packers when he said, "Oh, I loved watching this one." No, you didn't.
Honestly, I thought we were talking about the Lions and Vikings. Can we start with that one, TD?
You know what? Why not? Yeah, Nick set the tone. Then let's go with Baz's take on this right now.
Okay. It was a great game, but I wanted a tie. That's honestly what I wanted. But Dion, I got to give you major props, man. On the show last week, you said first drive they're gonna end up on a 4th down and they're gonna fake punt it. And when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? The fact that Dion was on here on NFC North Roundtable, probably not a great decision because everyone else knew at that point. It seemed like everyone else knew that they were going to do that, and obviously it didn't work. But Jared Goff, I mean, it continues to be so efficient. The last 3 weeks, like, I don't even know how many incomplete passes he's thrown. It's very minimal. This game, 22 of 25, 2 touchdowns, 140 quarterback rating. So, he's been playing excellent football, and I love watching Jahmyr Gibbs run the football. I mean, he honestly, I think he might be the fastest running back in the NFL. I think between him and, like, Devon Achane, I think he has a run for his money. I love watching him cut up field and just, put the jukes on people. It's awesome to watch. What else do I have here? I have a couple notes from this game. So Justin Jefferson held in check. We talked about that too. Did Carlton Davis, was it that you're talking about? Did he play and did he follow him around?
Carlton Davis stop. I mean, the Justin Jefferson stopper, as we call him. He took his time. He didn't follow him around all game, but
Okay.
just when he had to.
Gotcha. And when I went through this game prediction, I'm not gonna lie, I picked the Lions because I thought Aaron Jones wasn't gonna play. So once I saw Aaron Jones was playing, I was like, wow, I actually think I would pick the Vikings here. So the Lions stuck this one out and had a very impressive game plan. Stopped a 2-point conversion late, which then allowed them to kick a field goal for the win. The same exact thing the Green Bay Packers did against the Houston Texans, and Lions kicked a 44-yarder, Packers kicked a 45-yarder. So 2 very similar endings to both games that kind of happened simultaneously. So both were a joy to watch.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's speak to the 2 teams themselves. Well, I want to start out here with one bar. You guys took the L. It was a hard-fought game. What were your takeaways for your team and the game in general?
No, I mean, this game, like, really couldn't have been closer scoreboard-wise, box score. I mean, if you look at the box score, I don't know if I've ever seen a game so weirdly close. I mean, the passing yards away, rushing yards away, penalties, exact same, sacks, exact same, turnovers, exact same. Third down percentage was exactly the same. Like, it was perfectly matched teams, and it made for a damn good game. And don't get me wrong, like, going into this, I legitimately thought the Vikings were going to win. That said, the fact that we lost and it was a close game, it's not like I'm shocked. It's weird that I came out of this game. Initially, I was just pissed off just because we lost, but I got over it really quick just because we just proved, like, these are, in my mind, again, these are the 2 best teams in the NFC, and the Packers actually probably are third for me in the NFC, and it's all very, very close. But the biggest thing out of this, I mean, the Vikings, you give up 21 points in the third quarter. I mean, that's gonna sting. That's gonna hurt. I love it. It was hilarious, like you said, Baz. Like the fact that they actually did that fake punt way down in their own territory, and we just stuff them, and then we get out to a 10-point lead. It's like, what is going on? This is beautiful. But that second quarter, that 21 points was painful. It did not help our cause whatsoever. When you look at when Montgomery went down, I was right when he went down, I'm like, you know what? Montgomery's fantastic, but I think this is bad news for the Vikings. Like, Gibbs was working his magic. He was doing his thing. So when Gibbs was get out there, he was tearing us a new one, and he was doing damn good. As far as the play calling, like, I look at this and, like, I think Flores, we knew what he was going to do. He was going to bring the house. He did bring the house. So that wasn't crazy expectations there. But Jared Goff, like I said earlier, like, him against the blitz, it's like it's too easy for him. It's a horrible matchup. The Vikings blitz is what we do. Like, next time we play the Lions, we're gonna have to mix it up a little bit. We can't just bring the house every damn time and expect to get to him every time, because Jared Goff was picking us apart. But game plan wise, I was fine with it offensively and defensively. It came down to that second quarter. It became very clear that whoever's gonna have the ball last was gonna win this game. What I loved about the Vikings is they scratched, they clawed, they came back, they were up right until the end. That 3rd and 4 right at the end, Dion, you're probably crapping your pants. Darnold throws a kind of a little high pass to Jefferson. We have to punt the ball. As soon as the Lions got the ball, like, I knew deep down, like, Lions are going to come down and they're going to win this game. We didn't get the 2-point conversion, and you could just feel it. And that's what they did. And, I leave this game with it would have been great to be 6-0. Lions, I'm going to give them their flowers. Like I said, Dion, like, you are the best team in the NFC North right now, but I feel good about it. it's weird that I feel good about a loss. I shouldn't, but I feel good about it. Two very, 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 very good teams, very well coached teams, and we got to show up on some of those plays. A 2-point conversion and 3rd and 4 killed us.
Man, tough one there. Dion, your team won. How did they do it, and what were your thoughts and takeaways from the game?
Man, I mean, as One Bar stated, like that was about as horribly as it could at the beginning of the game. You know, saying the fake punt, the idea like it makes sense though, because you got to play with the lead. And like the fake punt went the exact opposite way of how our first 3 drives were terrible offensively. Like this was like the worst start you could have for like the plan to beat the Vikings. It's like, this is the opposite of what you should do. Like that game had written all over, like this is going to get out of hand. That being said though, as One Bar pointed out, like this was such a fun game in terms of just like the little tweaks and adjustments. Like you could see both teams just working to try to find something, trying to find an edge. It was like, this didn't work, let's go to this. And I thought like when you saw the things that we were doing defensively in this game, like let's take away the toss run, let's take away the outside stuff. And then the little tweaks that here comes Minnesota with, and they're just going all these weak side runs and there's bam, bam, couple chunks. And you could just see like the little tweaks and adjustments that each team was just throwing at each other just to try to find something that would work. And I think to what One Bar said, the reason I was mainly confident going into this game was based on last year, but I thought your personnel was better. So there was still like, I don't know how it's going to translate exactly. I think it'll translate well because I just thought that I think we're weirdly built for Minnesota. Like, I'll say it like that. I think our team, not for Minnesota as much as Brian Flores, he likes to get after teams. Goff has always been really good against the blitz. Obviously, pressure becomes a mess, but against the blitz, he's always been really good, and Ben Johnson has always had a good plan going back to last year. And I just think that Goff's willingness to just say, I don't care if it's pretty, I'll take the 2-yard pass, and I'm perfect. Like, he's super content with, like, I'm just going to throw it to my running back, and I'll just get it out, and that's a good play for me. I feel like there's other teams that want to have the play that's designed to go there. They want to have that chunk play. And Minnesota feels like they're built today to just stifle teams because they're like, hey, that second level throw, it's not there. We're going to drop our linebackers 15 yards. We're just going to stand in the way. And Goff's like, that's fine. I'd rather take the check down anyway. So I just feel like it's a weird matchup for Minnesota because it fits Goff's strength so well where, like, things can go that direction where they can start to tumble in terms of, like, Goff is super comfortable playing against this. And I think the biggest thing for me was we found a run game maybe even better than I expected. As One Bar pointed out, it was Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs was great in this game. I didn't know how well we'd run the ball. This was a team that was allowing like 60-some yards per game. We had 140 rushing against them. I think that was the biggest swing in this game for me, was how well we were able to get that going, because we tried at the beginning, it didn't really open up. And then as the game rolled along, we found different ways to open the run game and make that a real part. And I just think that, tied along with Goff's willingness to just say, I'll take the 2-yard pass, we'll do these 3-step drops, get the ball out fast, is just the game plan that you have to have. You have to be willing to be patient against Minnesota, and they were patient, and then they struck when they needed most. I'll say this. When we fumbled, when Dave Montgomery fumbled, I was super confident to that point. I was like, oh, we're giving up points. We're giving up 3, but they can't score. They can't get in the end zone. We're going to ride this thing home. Like, we're going to get this game. We're going to win this thing comfortably. And then he fumbles, and it's like, that's the one thing that could have happened. That's the one thing you could not do. You gave this team life, and he said it best. They're scrappy, man. It felt like if you go back to, I remember we played Minnesota and you guys, we went for 2 and we ended up getting it and we took the lead. Then you guys ended up walking us up on a field goal. That's what this game felt like. It was like we went out there and we fumbled and you guys took the lead, and it was like we should not be losing this. Since the first score, like we felt like we've dominated this game, and then we had to go get that last second field goal. So he said it was a great game, but to be honest with you, I just think, unless something changes completely, I think we're just a really tough matchup for Minnesota, because where we're comfortable is where they're comfortable, and I think that's a problem.
Man, oh man, that was definitely an amazing game, and I just wanted to add one thing. Shout out to Gibbs. He was running violent. Every time they had him stop for 2, he got 4. Stop for 4, he got 6. It was like this extra oomph that I've never seen it from him, but it made him pay. But we'll get on to the next game of the week in a moment. Let me make sure. Yes, so I want to give a special shout out to the chat. We have 500 people watching right now, 500 viewers right here on the NFC North Roundtable. Thank every single one of you guys for tuning in. We're greatly appreciative, supporting the host here at Roundtable Sports. But let's go ahead and get into this last game, because a few more things we want to go over, okay? All right, so Green Bay Packers this time, Nick, versus the Houston Texans. What were your thoughts on that game and your takeaways?
Okay. Now I'm ready for this one, TD. Thank you very much for clarifying who. First of all, shout out to the Packers for literally making CJ Stroud do absolutely nothing. I mean, 10 for 21 with 86 yards. Dude couldn't do anything against their secondary. They did a really good job there. But the offensive game plan for the Packers, I mean, Houston has a super tough defense. And, Romeo Doubs, 8 receptions for 94 yards. That was pretty darn impressive, too. Josh Jacobs also, I saw, had his first career receiving touchdown. Is that right, Bass? Did I see that right?
Yeah, Matt LaFleur guaranteed it to him this year when they signed him. So that was 2 plays in a row. He tried screens from the 5-yard line. First one didn't work. Second one did.
It was not. I mean, like, also just like how Lambeau erupted, like they also kind of knew. I feel like the fans definitely knew it too. So it was just exciting to see overall. But a really good game plan by the Green Bay Packers against the Texans, who have a super tough defense. Their offensive line held their own pretty well against the tough Houston pass rush. But Joe Mixon, he was just running over. It kind of reminded me of, and Baz, I want to hear your thoughts on it, but that Colts game at Lambeau where, you guys you stopped everything against the pass, but you couldn't stop the rush. Like, I felt like I was watching the same game because Joe Mixon was just running everywhere. So that was like the one thing I saw where I was like, ooh, Green Bay's got to definitely cover that up. 25 carries for 115 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. Overall, though, the second half was locked down. There was only 13 points scored. Obviously, Green Bay scored a little bit more, but huge adjustments done by both coaches. Exciting game, though. I got to give it to the Packers. Those uniforms were icy as hell. Like the white helmet, white jersey, white pants looked good. But the Texans did look pretty good, too, out there. But overall, solid game. Came down to the wire. And a kicker coming in as a free agent at Lambeau and just absolutely being able to kick a game winner after being iced. It was an impressive game. So hats off to the Packers.
All right. Well, one bar. What is your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I said it last week. Like the Packers, the teams that have been playing just haven't been overly fantastic. They beat the Texans. I'm going to give them some love. And they beat the Texans, which was a huge win. Again, I'm going to say it like I think they're right there as one of the best teams in the NFC. I mean, the biggest thing that stuck out for me was really their defense. I mean, they completely shut down Stroud. I mean, I know Mixon was getting his yards on the ground, but they're playing with confidence, which isn't something that I'm used to seeing the Pack. I guess I should rephrase that. They're playing with confidence and they're backing it up. Like they're backing it up on the field, which is big time. I mean, they're again, turnovers, all that fun stuff, but to lose the turnover battle, have a couple of bad plays, a muff pump, and still walk away with a win against a very, very good team is huge for the Packers. It's big time. Dobbs, like Nick mentioned, just absolutely tearing it up. He's having a fantastic last couple of weeks. Packers are just playing good ball right now, and they got the Jaguars coming up, and that's only going to make them feel even better about themselves because it's the freaking Jaguars. So, like, Packers, hats off. Love, again, like earlier when I was getting into Love, like, Love's a good quarterback. Like, I don't want to play him, but, like, the interceptions, again, he's, like, he's got to even that out a little bit more. And against the Vikings, I think he had 3. I think he had 2 last week, 1 or 2 last week.
2.
So that's the only thing that sticks out to me week in and week out. But the defense, I'll end with this: their defense. That's what sticks out. Boom.
Nice, Dion. What do you have on it?
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad one bar ended that like he did because here was my takeaway. Right, first up, well, this is a side. Is the Packers special teams like the worst in football, or was this like a game specific thing? Because like they seem like they got their field goal kicker, but I'm like, bro, what is happening? I don't know, and I got to be honest, I haven't paid close enough attention the rest of the season to their special teams. But it was a muff punt that set up the Texas offense was horrible. It was a muff punt. And then it was, I mean, one of the punt returns, his teammate basically tackled him. I'm like, if his teammate doesn't tackle him, he might have 10 more yards right there. Like, this is the worst unit in football. Bass, real quick, is this been a problem all year, or is this like just a one-game thing?
Special teams has been a problem for like 8 years,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay.
And it sucks because we brought in Rich Bisaccia. I'll be real quick. We brought in Rich Bisaccia, and he's the highest paid special team coordinator in the NFL with $2 million annually. So that's why it sucks. So
Okay.
Hey,
Well, look, I'm available, so we can put that out there. Here's the thing, though. Look, here's a little side note. Usually when you have like boxes, people are like, oh, you can't open them because that ruins the value. Yeah, I've already opened it, but it's still in the background like it's not open. Here's what this was. If this is the Texans offense, right? This is what the Packers did to him. I'm going to give you all a little visual, I get English. This is what happened, all right? They were put in a cereal box. I'm watching this like this is the most, this is disgusting. I didn't think that. I didn't watch the game live, so let me go back, check this out. They got 20 points. They probably did a little something. They were awful, man. They shut that offense completely down. That passing attack was a disaster. I may be wrong. I think Laramie Tunsil actually ended up playing in this game. I could be wrong on that.
Yep.
This was a disaster, man. They couldn't pass the football at all in this game. Diggs had like a couple grabs. Joe Mixon is great. I didn't know Joe Mixon was that good. He did a lot of things kind of on his own. But some of those drives turned into like, let's just give Mixon the ball and see if he can do something. Terrible. And I don't know where the balance is there between like this is Packers defense is like really darn good the back end and what the heck are the Houston Texans doing without Nico Collins. But I got to give the Packers some credit. You do that to any NFL team, you deserve some credit. This is a 5-win team that looked like they couldn't throw the football. I mean, I was not expecting that at all. And then as One Bar said to pick up from there, Jordan Love is completely boomer bust right now, but man, some of those throws are beautiful. That Tucker Kraft one, I was like, oh snap. And Tucker Kraft, give him credit. He made an absolute great grab. And Romeo Doubs is like that dude. Like Romeo, when they needed it, it was like, go to Romeo, he's going to get open. Outside of that, I thought there was still some inconsistencies. I don't know that I love Josh Jacobs as much as the name. You know, I have to see a little bit more. But that being said, like the interceptions are bad, but my goodness, that pass defense was like, it's not that big of a problem because the Texans can't move the football. So a lot of credit to the Packers pass defense. Bass has been telling us for weeks about that safety play, and it's just like there's nothing going on back there. Their safety had some big plays. Is it Williams? So give them a lot of credit for the back end. Yeah, he looks good.
Interesting. Go ahead and take it away, Bass. It's your team, your victory. How did you do it, and how did you like it?
I think it speaks a lot of volume to this football team, you know, being able to come out here and win a game with a -3 turnover differential. You know, a lot of the Packers wins this season, you can go back and look at them and be like, oh, it's because, you know, they took care of business. They created turnovers, right? We're used to seeing the Packers create turnovers. We didn't create a single one. You know, we threw an interception early. It was a great play by Jalen Petrie, basically baiting Jordan Route into the stick route thrown to Wicks. The second interception was definitely a horrible read and a horrible throw. Kalen Bullock came up with that one. The muffed punt, I have no idea. Special teams definitely an issue, as Dion spoke on. We had Jaden Reed fielding a punt like 2 feet in the end zone and then trying to like reverse field and getting tackled at the 4-yard line. So special teams definitely needs to get cleaned up, but it seems like we finally found a kicker. But what impressed me most, and Dion, you know, spoke on this, is the defense and what Jeff Hafley kind of had in his bag for this game. It was very, may I say, Brian Flores-esque. I mean, he was moving guys around so much, and he's been doing this a lot this season where he moves Xavier McKinney pre-snap like everywhere. The only difference is he usually would bail him out no matter what. This time he brought Xavier McKinney a couple times, and he ended up with a sack. So he's giving so many complex looks to C.J. Stroud, and honestly, C.J. Stroud looked like a college quarterback. Like, he looked lost. Like, he didn't know what was coming next from the Green Bay Packers. They were showing cover zero. They were showing double mug A gap and all of that, and then bailing out or sending. And the amount of stunts they brought against the Texans offensive line. There was one where Rashawn Gary looped from the left side all the way around to the right and ended up pressuring C.J. Stroud, who had to roll and spin out of the pocket. I mean, just watching the All-22 film and seeing all the stunts, I was just like ear-to-ear grinning just watching this defense go to work against a good offense. C.J. Stroud is a good quarterback. Even without Nico Collins, they are good receivers. Stephon Diggs held in check, talking trash all pregame, and Jair locks him up once again. No surprise there. Tank Dell, 0 receptions, right? Dalton Schultz had 1 catch that game. So very, very impressed with this Packers defense overall. Eric Wilson stepped up with Quay Walker leaving with a concussion. Evan Williams, a ball player. We know how he is. Javon Bullard stepping up in the slot. They just have a lot of ball players on this defense that are flying around, and the mentality was there. Like, usually in years past under Joe Barry, it's like the Packers defense kind of gets punched in the mouth and they just cower down. No, the Green Bay Packers started out by punching you in the mouth in this game, and that's what we haven't seen from this Packers defense in a very long time. Now, on the flip side with Jordan Love, you know, I talked on his interceptions a couple times, but he's also throwing terrific passes out there. You know, Romeo Doubs was his guy in this game, and for some reason the Houston Texans were giving the slant over and over and over again. They're cover 3 outside shade and just like, okay, run a slant on me. And Romeo Doubs did against Stingley multiple times. He did against D'Angelo Ross multiple times, finished 8 for 94. Looks menacing out there. He looks like Michael Myers after he catches a touchdown, just kind of standing there with no emotion on his face. I mean, he's a killer out there. Romeo Doubs has really been heating up the past 2 weeks. And I'll end it on, actually, I want to talk one more thing, which really confused me about the Houston Texans offense. 3rd and 15 late in this game. Packers have one more timeout. Texans are setting up to take a field goal to lead the game, which they end up doing. 3rd and 15. They draw up a play where Stroud throws a ball to 10 yards on the right sideline, I believe to Tank Dell, 5 yards short of the sticks. it was incomplete, but even if you catch it, he's out of bounds. The clock stops. It's 3rd and 15 at like the 20-something yard line. Why aren't you just running a draw and then wasting the Packers' last time out that they ended up needing to make that a 45-yard field goal? I don't know what Bobby Sloak's doing over there in Houston, but something's got to change because it was confusing. But back to our kicker. Finally have a kicker, Brandon McManus. I know it was just a 45-yarder, but it seemed like routine for him. Like, just go out there, kick the ball. Did it once, got iced. The second time, our long snapper almost messed it all up, which is common for Matt Orzech. Horrible snap. Luckily, Daniel Whelan, who, in my opinion, is like one of the best punters right now in the NFL. I think he had like 3 straight punts of around 60 yards in that game. Held the ball, got it in check. Kick goes up, goes in for the Packers, and it felt so good to finally see like a game-winning kick from a Packers field goal kicker there. So overall, great game by the Packers, and excited for Jacksonville this week.
Man, oh man, listen, this division, like I keep saying to you all, is heating up. Every week, something is on the line within the division. Real quick, Funny Boy Rody just said that win was a fluke. Vikings will win next time in Detroit.
Ooh.
Jared said the division has the chance to do the funniest thing by losing all their home games and winning all of their away games against the division. That's interesting. Funny Boy also said, I'm so glad Vikings got a cake schedule now. Yeah, the schedule is pretty favorable, in my opinion, outside of the division itself. But real quick, ladies and gentlemen, do not leave. We need your help. We need every single one of you that is watching right now, almost 500 people. We need your help real quick, okay? So the Roundtable Sports Company overall, which is the umbrella mother of NFC North Roundtable, just struck a partnership with Tom Brady's new app called Autograph. Tom Brady has a new sports app called Autograph, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a huge opportunity for not only Roundtable Sports, but NFC North Roundtable as well, okay? So what the app is, it's all your favorite sports teams' news from everywhere, okay? You'll even see some of your favorite creators on the app. Now, what they want to do with Roundtable Sports is see if there is a need for NFC North Roundtable coverage on the app. So by showing that there is a need, we need everyone to go to the top of the chat right now and click on the link that is pinned at the top of the chat. Once you click on it, it'll take you to the Autograph app to download, and it should automatically pre-fill code RTS. If it doesn't, put in code RTS. That way they can track it. And then they can look at the numbers and say, it looks like a lot of people love the NFC North and Roundtable Sports. Let's work on bringing them onto the network. So that is a goal of ours, and we need every single one of you guys to help us out and contribute to the cause by downloading the app and using code RTS. There is no money. There is nothing to pay for, but you know what you get? It's funny. The more you look at content for your favorite team, you actually earn coins. They actually have a system where you earn gifts, okay? The more you stack up just by looking at the content that you love already, you earn different incentives that you can use to buy football tickets, merchandise, everything on the site. So shout out to Tom Brady giving us the opportunity to partner with them, and we want to influence it more with NFC North Roundtable. So if you can go over and download it using code RTS, it'll be greatly appreciated to help us out, all right? Just want you all to know that. Now, one last question, and we are out of here. Put in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, what is your record prediction and what team are you representing with the record prediction? I want to start with Nick, though. Give me your end of season record prediction for the Bears right now.
11-6.
11-6. What about you, Bass?
12-5.
12-5. One bar?
Why'd you cringe at that one and not Nick's?
No, I was just saying. I actually cringe because it's like, man, this division is tough. Because I've done this in a lot of 9-7s and all of that. So it's interesting. All right, one bar.
13-4. Got a cake schedule coming up, baby.
Dion.
Dion's laughing. It's being rude.
I just feel like I feel like you set me up to just say 14-3 and just do what we're doing. But
You don't have to.
yeah,
Go with your
I
head,
won't
not
do
your
it.
heart.
You're right. I won't do it. 16-1.
Man.
You did it. You did it.
Oh man, 16-1. He's winning the last game of the season, even though they'll be allowed to rest, right?
And Hooker's a problem. Yo.
Man, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We also see you guys in the chat. Lions going 16-1, Vikings 13-4. Someone said Patriots 11-6. All right, we need to end the show on that note. All right, this stream was being brought to you by BetUS. Take advantage of a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit, ladies and gentlemen. Supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel, and above all, make sure you go download the Autograph app. Use code RTS so that you can contribute to what we have going on here at Roundtable Sports. If you love what you've been seeing, continue to hit the like button and tuning in. We love you all. Nick, any last words?
I'm excited for this upcoming weekend. Let's have a 4-0 weekend with the NFC North.
Let's go, Bass.
Let's not have a 4-0 weekend. Let's have a 1-4 weekend. Go back.
1-4? How did that happen?
1-4, yeah.
What do you mean? 1-3.
That's what we mean.
The Bears will lose twice. The Bears will lose
That's
twice.
what I'm saying.
All right. Here we go.
One more. Last words.
I'll go. Let's have a 2-2 record. Nick, I'm going to give you some love here because I'm not worried about you in the long run. So,
Oh boy.
Oh.
Thanks, man.
Oh, man. Hold on. Have the Lions played the Bears yet? I mean, the Vikings. Have the Vikings played the Bears?
Not yet.
You better be careful, one bar.
I know.
And Dion, you take it away. What's your last words?
Yeah, the Cowboys basically lost twice a couple of weeks ago, so I mean it's very much still possible if we're being honest here. I don't have any good last words, TD. Go outside, do stuff.
Great.
Appreciate you.
Jan just turned 60 years old.
I
Go
know, right?
outside and do
Thank
stuff.
y'all for tuning into the NFC North Roundtable. Check us out on Friday for the prediction show. We love you all. Peace. We are out.